Hi, everyone. So I will be hosting another meeting again, Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'm going to be discussing the opportunity that you see me promoting here on YouTube about the seaweed industry. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a multi-billion dollar industry. It is a $15 billion industry worldwide. 50. Hi, Janet. Hold on. How are you, love? 55 million in the United States alone. And we are the East Africa Seaweed Company, recognizing the opportunities. There are things that I have privy to because I am working with this on a daily basis. The research, the analysis, the information, the structure. I have a specific insight that I would like to share with people who would like to get involved in this business. Um, Hold on 1 second. Who would like to get involved in this business? Yes, it's fantastic. I'm here. I'm in it still. I'm in it. Janet, uh, I'm here just really working at developing the industry here because what we have is a lot of splintered farms, and we have a lot of splintered players, and my company just so happens to be the only company on mainland Tanzania that holds an export license for seaweed and exporting to the United States, whereas everyone else is exporting from Zanzibar and the source of the seaweed is untraceable. So there is a lot of issues in the industry that people don't know and should know. And things are going to be changing significantly as the Zanzibari government changes their strategies and start to demand fair market value price for sea moss. So um, there's a lot of changes on the horizon. There's a lot of things that I see because I'm doing this on a day-to-day basis. So I understand what is coming and what is coming next. And so the side that we are on is on the side of traceable, fair seaweed from the farmers in mainland Tanzania, right? So it is a very lucrative business to get into. Seaweed is a consumable. People are now gravitating towards using I'm using the word seaweed as a general term because outside of the United States, this the species that is consumed as sea moss is known as seaweed. They just generally call it seaweed. So sea moss is just a misnomer. It's a broad term that people have come up with because they don't necessarily have all of the specific details. But each variety of red algae or rhodophyta that people consume, each variety of that rhodophyta has specific scientific name, obviously, for what it is. The This rhodophyta that people are calling sea moss is actually a specific seaweed that gives the gels that has a lot of nutritive content to it. But how this particular seaweed is raised also dictates the kind of nutritional content and nutritional value that you get from it. So I have spent the entire year putting together all of the different moving pieces so that we can bring the this product to the major consumer, which is the African American and Caribbean American market. So I have spent a lot of time and energy and effort trying to not trying to I have been successful in putting things together by which we can make this even more a vehicle for us to benefit from. So what these meetings are about, if you go to the community page, you will see that I put up a flyer there this morning. I'm very clear in what I'm offering, but there are details involved that if you come to a meeting, you will have more knowledge and more information. But if you took simple math for what the market value of sea moss is, and you multiply it by the quantity of what we are offering, including shipping, including warehousing, you can clearly see that the profits are exponential. So we're offering fair market prices to share our container as we ship them to the United States, warehouse them in the United States, and logistics with them. And I will, during the meetings, I give you step by step in detail how to do that. And this is for people who are already in CMOS, people who are not in CMOS, people who don't have a clue in CMOS, people who consume CMOS. There are many different levels by which people can participate and get involved. The community page, when you go to YouTube, there'll be on this channel, you'll see tabs. It will say videos, and the next tab will say community. And on that community tab, click on it, and then you will see where people post, where people normally post just images, or they make a regular post. So that is what this is about. This is a serious opportunity. There is a great potential for earning here, whichever portion of the industry you are in. Even if you are just a consumer, you yourself as a consumer, you have an authority on the quality of something or whether something is good or bad for you. So I think at this point, we as a people, we have a product that we can directly trace to farms that are providing fair market value for seaweeds, as well as high quality content. A lot of the sea moss that people are getting out of some of these places, they are produced for commercial value, and because they're produced for commercial value, it affects their nutritional content, because when they are raised a certain way, they're raised for quantity, not quality. And so we work with our specific farmers on how they have to plant for us if they're going to work with us. So those are some of the things that I think people need to consider. People don't know the species. People don't know reproductive cycles. People don't have the information. People don't know how to make money. The people who are making money, they are not even making the kind of money that they should be making, because the cost of shipping the sea moss from variable sources across the globe is so exponentially high, right? And this is one thing that cannot be grown down south in Florida. It can't be grown off the coast of Atlanta. It can't be grown off the coast of New York. It cannot be grown in the areas in which most of our people live. So I am presenting an opportunity for people to participate in this industry. Those who would like to make things, those who just simply want to sit back and make money, or those people who want to get their own package, their own label, and or even drop ship directly to their consumer. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There is no reason whatsoever why people should be buying things that do not even come from the sources that they're claiming to come from on Etsy, on Amazon, and eBay, or whatever. Okay? Some of these things are questionable. Things are coming back to the United States by questionable sources and claiming that they come from this country or they come from that country, right? And some people are. Hey, Kendra, how are you? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Kendra. Yes, so there's a lot of information that I have gotten while entering into this space to try to figure out how things work and where do we fit in the marketplace? Where do we fit in the grand scheme of things, and how can we provide a better quality and a more cohesive structure for people earning the maximum out of it. And the reason why I'm such a serious advocate, I have said before, is because I had used it to heal myself from a brain tumor. And JoJo, we had used it for her formula. That was her baby food. That was her chocolate milk up until the age of 3. That is what JoJo was consuming under the guise of chocolate milk. So she has never had milk. She never had anything out of a bottle. She never had anything out of a can. She never had any powder. It was straight sea moss, a little bit of oatmeal, a banana and cocoa, and that is what I fed her. And we have never had any like serious illnesses with her. Yes, she would get sick since this COVID thing, or we all got sick. But after that, say from that, sorry, she has been a perfectly healthy child. So, there are lots of benefits in it, right? Hey, Hardy, how are you? There are lots of benefits in it. There are people who would like to get involved in it. What I am offering to you, if you emailed me ever at any point in time and asked me to ship you some CMOS, and you saw the ridiculous price of shipping, and you can look and see that if we are working together, that we can bring the cost of that shipping from the regions where the seaweed is the most valuable. We can bring it. Yes. Yes, Akita. It's a fantastic opportunity. It is not snake oil. It is not any of this stuff. We're registered by the Tanzanian Investment Center. You can talk to anyone here in Tanzania and they will tell you what you have to do to get that kind of certification. We have our export license, we have our collection license, we are legitimate in every which way forward, and we have partnered with the arms of the government and the NGOs that are responsible for seaweed and moving seaweed in a more equitable way toward from the farms to the consumer, right? So Janet, please come to the meeting this 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, because I want it's one thing to say, okay, it's this amount of money, but you need to understand the value. It is the value of what you are getting for the money. And I don't want to get in all the details here because that's our private business. This is our company strategy. I have investors who I've met just as I've met some of you. They believed in the things that I had to say. They invested in the company. We were able to pull ourselves together and make a unit. And we have our WhatsApp group, and I share information on a daily basis, whether we're going up or down. They know what is happening every single step of the way. They are informed and they are aware. So, where we have now taken this idea of what if we created a company that we can bring change to the environment, a change to the marketplace. We are now here at this place, and it took me 9 months to get here. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It took me 9 months to get here, and none of it was easy. So registering with the TIC, having those legitimate documentation, people who have invested in this company in the past have the right to reside and gain their residency permits as investors through this company. I wanted to design it that way. I have other strategies that I'm putting into play now for other people to participate in this industry. It is only growing, right? And I want you to go and do some Googling, right? I want you to Google, get some information for yourself. Come to this meeting open-eyed, because there is a lot of information out there. Google the word seaweed revolution. Okay, there is a big old change happening, but Black people don't know about it, right? Seaweed revolution. Google new seaweed startups. Okay, let me put this in here again. Put another one. New seaweed startups. Okay. And the next one that I want you to Google is blue economy. So while you're back home and you're on your day-to-day grind, there are things that are happening around you that you don't know about and you will not get the opportunity to participate in, things that are growing, whereas the Europeans are now leaning toward algae consumption, which is what the rhodophyta is that you guys consume as the sea moss. It is an algae, right? Everyone is now leaning towards this thing in a huge way, right? This is the other thing I want you to go and do some Googling and do some research on. And this is what I want you to do also is Google the global sea moss, seaweed industry. So the next thing, the global seaweed industry. So you can see the compounded annual growth. You can see what this industry brings annually and how it is only growing more and more. Right? So me saying to you, okay, get involved in CMOS, you know it's popular, but what you don't know is that it is a monster waiting to happen. It is a huge, huge thing that is going to go from our kitchens and our cupboards and our backyards in the Black community, and it is going to go straight into the white community. And there, yeah, you see, right, Janet? Janet says she's seeing it now. It's crazy. Yes, it is going to grow in such an exponential way because the industry is now shifting. People don't want meat anymore. Some people don't want fish anymore. They're looking for meat substitutes. And so the meat substitutes, the seaweed or sea moss that gives the mouth feel, that gives that silkiness on the tongue, for ice cream, for meat substitute, is the exact same species that we are eating and calling it sea moss. So this is about to bust wide open, and I am already here on the ground trying to do it the right way. I'm not trying to exploit the farmers, even though I had the opportunity to do so on the very first visit to the farms. I said, hell no, I'm not getting on this bandwagon. What I'm going to do is figure out how to get them fair market. So I emailed so many people. I emailed the fair trade people to see how we can get the farmers on fair trade, right? Because there has to be like a line, there has to be something, because there is no way that someone should be bending down in the boiling African sun for 6 weeks at a time and make less than 25 US cents for their work. And these remote villages that are stricken in poverty because they're so far out there and it's so beautiful out there, but they can't move because they don't have transportation. So these big white folk, they jump in their boats and they sail down there and they buy it up cheap, 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 bring it back to Zanzibar, sell it out and ship it away, and no one ever sees the money. right? So for me, I want no parts of that. And because I have used my voice to speak up, there are a lot of things that have changed and are changing, and the people who are in this exploitation, they are going to go to the wayside by the by. So for people who are looking to get involved in something that has longevity, that is not a flash in the pan that, oh, I started to do this and then I don't do it anymore. No, sir, I have invested way too much money, way too much time, way too much effort, and building too many systems for how to make this go for us. I don't want this to go like how everything has gone. Let's talk about the medical marijuana industry. Black folk been smoking weed from time immemorial. We've been saying it's good for you. It's good for your head. It's good for your heart. It's good for you. I mean, I'm not a weed smoker. Jamaicans, most Jamaican people are not, but we have that reputation because we raise it in the soil and the soil is good, right? So if you go to the Rastaman in Jamaica, he's been talking about weed, 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 good for you from ever. Now, all of a sudden, scientists have found that, oh, it is good for you. And if you do this and you do that, and now they have brought it under this new thing under medical marijuana, that you can use it if you have a license and if you have a letter from a doctor, and you have to have a couple of millions to have a dispensary in certain states, and rubbishness, right? So I am sick and tired of all of the things that belong to us that we have used indigenously for generations. My grandmother used to use sea moss. Fear mother before she used to use sea moss. What comes to my father, I use sea moss. Me use sea moss. We call it Irish moss of Jamaica, but there is confusion because the I what we call Irish moss is like is not Conjus crispus. Conjus crispus is a completely different species that grows in the North Atlantic. It grows in cold waters. Our species are warm water species, and those species are actually more potent than, from the scientific perspective, from what other people have from what people know as sea moss. So this general term of names and misuses and misuse name or whatever, there are different species that have different purpose, right? Akita says she wouldn't trust government weed. Yes. uh Jay Hardy, you can the WhatsApp group is for people who invested in the company. So we don't have a group together for those who would like to get into the CMOS business, but I can create a group for people who are going to be a part of the who are going to share the container with us, we're offering a certain amount of our container space for people who would like to also purchase some CMOS at the farm gate wholesale price. It includes shipping and it does include warehousing to a certain amount of time. The WhatsApp group is only for the people who joined me from the beginning, from where we started. I needed those people at that time because once you register in the TIC, you can't go back and undo it and add somebody else. And I was not in the position to sit and wait for people to make up their mind and decide whether or not they trusted me or they believed in me. So the people who trusted and believed in me, they are registered, their names are sealed, everything, they're a part of the system and they have been there. There are people who joined afterwards on the condition of loan, right? And there is something else that I'm going to be addressing for those who would like to come. Jay Hardy, you're going to email me. um you're going to email me. So my email for everyone, and when in these meetings, I share all the things that you need to know. I share our business registration, I share our documentation, I share all the things that you need to know, our website, all the details, things that you can go and do research and find for yourself, and examine our legitimacy, and examine the things that examine our legitimacy, examine the things that I'm saying. Janet, you guys, please come to the meeting. I'm going to set it for 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, which will be 4:30 a.m. my time. So what I will do, so email me if you are interested in getting on this, because things are about to change, and they're changing in our favor, right? We're doing things that no one else is doing. We're positioning ourselves in ways that other people are not positioning. You know, we're the first company to hold a the TIC certification. Go and look this up and see what this is. So go and look what this is and see what the minimum amount of investment you need. Tanzanian Investment Center. Okay, go and look this up, and you will see the minimum amount of money that you need in order to participate, in order to get what we have, and we have it on for under seaweed processing. So this isn't something that I imagined, or I said, oh, I started the company and then I decided that I wanted to do in seaweed. So for anyone else who would like to come behind us, they have a whole lot of catching up to do and a whole lot of money to throw at this to get to where we are now. We are in a very good position. We're signatories to the United Nations Social Development Goal, SDG 14, Life Below the Water. That's something you could look up as well. So UN SDG 14, right? That is us. We're signatories here for 14 and 5, right? And that puts us in a whole different category, a whole different place, a whole different space for doing what we're doing. The kind of companies that we have partnered with, the kind of relationships that we have built, puts us in a completely different category than someone who is just going and buying and selling. Going and buying and selling. We have put ourselves in the position to make changes in the industry wherever we find the opportunity to do so, right? And so you're going to remember what I'm saying. For those of you who went to the meetings before when I was starting the company, and then you get to see where we are now, you understand where that I'm serious. I am serious. I understand exactly what I'm doing and how to move certain needles forward. So come to the meeting. Okay, I see an email coming through here. I see you, Janet. Thank you. Come to the meeting this evening. And I'm going to have you do another exercise before I get off of here. The exercise is I want you to go and dig up what you spend on CMOS. For those of you who buy CMOS, go and find out, look at your last invoice for what you paid for CMOS. That's what I want you to do. Go and look up how much it is that the last batch that you bought, how much that CMOS was. That's all I want you to do. And then I'm going to share the information that I have with you and show you how what we're offering can compound in such a way that it can literally change your life, because we are purchasing in such large quantities and we are moving in such a way that we can get certain prices, and we can move things in a certain direction that other people cannot. Okay, so 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna get back to Jojo now. It's 7:55 p.m. Let me see, 9:30 p.m. EST. That is the time of our meeting this evening. So For those of you who would like to join, go do the research that I spoke to you about. Go and research the seaweed industry. Go and research the blue economy. Go and research seaweed startup. Go and do some research and find some information on the seaweed revolution. Go and see what the people are doing now, because all of these big major corporations and these big major people, they're pumping their money in seaweed. And where is Africa now? Africa is where Africa has always been, in the periphery. Like, oh, what's happening in seaweed? Oh, nothing. We had a financial consultant from a due diligence, a financial company looking at us for a major investment because we're building out a processing plant, and they came, and from what the information that he came and looked at our stuff, and he's like, well, everybody's here, this is seaweed is going on well, okay. And for him to go all over Tanzania and then come back and say this is the only company that is actually doing something for industry wise, because I have taken my Western knowledge and my Western know-how and my 22 years of experience in project management, taken all of my experience as a researcher and put it together in business development, and put it together focused on moving this industry from where it is now to its major consumer. So we have a major producer. Tanzania produces 92% of Africa's seaweed. 92% of the seaweed on the entire African continent is coming from, just so happen to where I am coming from right now. A $55 billion industry in the United States, 156 billion US dollars in China, another 255 billion all over the place. So, and we're producing 92% of what they cannot produce for themselves. They cannot produce this species themselves. It is a warm water species. And it is the most versatile product that is in everything from your shampoo, your conditioner, your toothpaste, your ice cream, dairy, meat substitute, meat itself. Okay? So when this starts to bust wide open, are you going to be the people on the sidelines who don't control it either? No, not while I'm over here. So send me the emails. I'll send you back a link. We can discuss all of the opportunities, because where I see the industry going, right? The other thing I want you to look at too, that you could also research for yourself, is algae as a meat substitute, right? And that's what all of these new meat substitute companies are looking at, right? But guess what? They don't have this, right? They don't algae as a meat substitute. Janet, no, it will not be on YouTube. So you email me and I'll send you the link. Like I said, we have investors. There are private things that I only share with investors, potential investors, or potential partners. This is not for like public information for the entire universe, because this is business strategy. This is business development. This is how this is the stuff that I worked on myself. So it is not free for all. Only for the people who are looking to get involved in this industry. So please come. It's a private meeting. You can ask your questions. Come with your questions. Come with your come with all your ideas. Come with an open mind. Let's have an open discussion about it, and I'll share you all the details. Aside from the cost, you need to see the value in what I am presenting to you. So come with the last invoice of what you paid for CMOS. Okay, that's all I'm asking you to do. Come with the last invoice of what you paid for CMOS, and I will show you how what we're presenting to you can bring you value exponentially if you decide to do certain things. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Jojo now because it's 8 p.m. and her bedtime. So I thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Please go and do this research on your own. Go and find this information. There is a lot to go through and get through for you to understand what I'm talking about. If you don't already have access or have been looking at the information, you're not going to see the opportunity that is here now. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Bye-bye.